You know that feeling, right? You walk away from a meeting or a conversation, and you just know you didn't come across as sharp as you really are. Well, you're not alone. So today, we're doing a full communication tune-up designed to help your words finally match your intelligence.
First things first, let's talk about the usual suspects. Filler words. We all do it, but the real question is, do a few little ums and ahs and you knows actually change how people see us? Do they really matter?
Oh, you bet they do. In fact, in a high-stakes moment, they can be absolutely brutal. Take Caroline Kennedy's Senate bid back in 2008. She gave this one interview where she was dropping filler words more than 12 times for every 100 words she spoke. The media was merciless. They called them cringing verbal tics that just screamed inexperience.
And this isn't just about what people think. It hits the wallet, too. A study on telemarketers found this really clear trend. The more filler words a salesperson used, the lower their success rate. It's that simple. So yeah, these little verbal glitches, they have a real, measurable cost. But here's the thing, filler words are just the tip of the iceberg. They're just one kind of verbal glitch. And what we're about to see is that these small habits are often symptoms of much bigger communication issues, and they all come with a surprisingly high cost.
In fact, they're part of a whole family of what we can call communication killers. These are the common habits that are quietly sabotaging our credibility and our ability to connect with people every single day.
So what are we talking about here? Well, there is hijacking a conversation to make it all about you, or using the word but, which basically just erases whatever the other person just said. But for right now, let's zero in on two of the biggest offenders in our modern work lives: multitasking and interrupting. So, be honest with me for a second. Are you multitasking right now? Maybe glancing at another tab, checking your phone. I get it, it feels productive, but the science is pretty clear. It's one of the fastest ways to temporarily make yourself less intelligent.
And I'm not exaggerating. A study out of the University of London found that when you multitask during cognitive tasks, your IQ can drop by as much as 15 points. 15!
To put that number into perspective, that's the same kind of drop you'd get from staying up all night or smoking marijuana. For men, that 15-point drop can put their IQ in the same range as an average 8-year-old. Suddenly that quick email check during a meeting doesn't seem so heartless, does it?
All right, next up on our list of offenders is just as bad: interruption. Picture this. You are deep in the zone on a tough project, and someone breaks your focus. Research shows it takes an average of 25 minutes to get back to where you were. A full 25 minutes just gone. And get this, the interruption doesn't even have to be a big one. Scientists found that a distraction of just 2.8 seconds, that's barely enough time to glance at a notification, was enough to double the number of errors people made on a task.
And you can see just how insane this problem has gotten in our workplaces. A UC Irvine study found that in open-plan offices, a crazy 63% of tasks get interrupted. Even if you have your own private office, it's still nearly half. We've basically designed our own distraction machines.
So, what do we do about all this? How do we fix it? Well, the answer isn't just about breaking a few bad habits. It's about a fundamental shift in how we think. It's about moving from being reactive to being proactive.
A reactive mindset says the problem is out there. It's my phone, it's my loud coworkers, my schedule is just too crazy. It lets your circumstances call the shots. But a proactive mindset, it flips that completely. It says, nope, change starts with me, from the inside out. You choose how you respond, and you start planning for challenges instead of just putting out fires all day.
And this isn't just some feel-good idea. This approach gets real results. Research shows that companies with proactive leaders are 25% more likely to see a real boost in team performance, in revenue, and in profits. Taking control of your own focus literally pays off.
Okay, so we get it. We need to be more proactive. But how? How do we actually do that? That brings us to the good stuff, your improvement toolkit. These are real, practical things you can start doing like today.
First up is a brilliantly simple idea from author Scott H. Young. It's called the rubber band trial. All you do is wear a rubber band on your wrist. Every single time you catch yourself saying or you interrupt someone, you just switch the band to your other wrist. The goal? See if you can go a full 7 days without switching it. It's an amazing little trick for building that hyper-awareness of your own glitches.
Next, you gotta build a system to make these changes actually stick. It starts with planning ahead. Decide the when, the where, and the how you're gonna practice. A huge rule is don't miss twice. Look, you're gonna slip up, that's fine, just don't let it happen 2 days in a row. It also really helps to talk about it as part of your identity. Think, I'm the kind of person who listens fully. And finally, have backups ready. An if-then plan. Like, if I feel the urge to check my phone, then I will take 3 deep breaths instead. But you know, all these tools for fixing how we talk, they're really only half the battle. Because the most powerful communication skill you can ever learn has nothing to do with what you say. It's about what you hear. It's about moving beyond just fixing our own mistakes and learning the art of hearing the unheard.
There's this incredible old parable about a young prince named Tai. He was sent into the forest to learn the art of listening. When he came back, he told his master he could hear all the obvious stuff. You know, the birds, the wind, the bugs. And honestly, that's the level most of us operate on. We hear the words people say on the surface.
But the master wasn't impressed. He sent the prince back into the forest. And after days of just pure, focused silence, the prince returned, completely changed. He said, "When I listened most closely, I could hear the unheard." He could hear the life happening underneath all the noise. That is deep listening. It's hearing what isn't being said out loud.
And this time, the master approved. He explained that true leadership, true connection, isn't about hearing words. It's about penetrating deeper into the soul of a person to hear their real opinions, their hidden feelings, their unspoken desires. The downfall of a leader, he said, comes when they can no longer hear those deeper truths.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. In your conversations, in your meetings, in your life, what are the unheard sounds that you might be missing? Because finding the answer, well, that could